Hey everybody, Justin here with From Zero to Studio, and today we're back with part 2 of ways you can increase your speed and efficiency when programming drums. In the last video, I showed you my process for quickly writing out all the MIDI data, and in this video, we're fine-tuning velocities. Let's dive in. So I like to start with the kick and snare. And many of these hits can stay at their full normal velocity, but I know this kick hit here is going to be a little bit quieter, so I might drop that down by a little bit. You can pretty much tell by where the snare hits are at. Any of these little pickup kick hits coming in there are going to be just a hair quieter on that foot. So I know just by looking at the part, pretty much where I have to adjust these kick hits. So I would go through and do that for the entire kick part before moving on to the snare drum. And another way you can do this quickly is just to find those parts, highlight them, and then you can just do a velocity change all at once. It's just a lot quicker to do it this way, and it's less tedious of a process. After the kick velocities are done, I would look through the snare. All these little offbeat hits and pickup notes is where you're really going to want to pay attention. So you can see I've dropped that down a little bit. And if you look around at some of the other snare parts, I can actually highlight this whole snare. And then you can see where these velocity changes are at. Offbeat note down a little bit. We got a flam here, so the initial grace of the flam is a little bit quieter, and then the main accent note of the flam is a bit harder there. Once the snare velocities are dialed in, I'll go ahead and do all the toms, and just continue working my way through the drum kit. There's nothing really crazy happening in the toms here. They're pretty much just from a rack tom to a floor tom or a couple floor tom hits in a row. So something like that would probably sound fine without changing their velocities whatsoever, but typically that left hand is going to be a little bit quieter on a drummer, so you might want to drop that down just a little bit. Now when you get to a part like this, when it's just rack to floor, keeping those at the same consistent velocity will sound just fine there. So I'm just going to keep moving my way upward on the MIDI editor here. Up next, we got our crash cymbals. We've got a left crash and then a right crash. It's a nice full sounding crash, and I typically don't have to do much with it. What I will do though, is if we're going into a soft verse or we're going into a breakdown in the bridge or something like that, I will adjust the velocity on those to make it a bit quieter. But oftentimes, just finding a nice volume balance of the crash cymbals is all you really need to do. Once we get up to the hi-hat now, this is where things start to get a little bit different. So if I highlight this hi-hat part, all the ones that turn darker color down here, you can see that they're all at the same velocity of 100. And this is what's really going to make your drums sound robotic. So what you kind of have to do here is think like a drummer. And on your main big hits like the downbeat or the big backbeat behind the snare, those are going to be hit a little bit harder than those in-between notes. So let's just play that and see where that snare hit's at. So we basically got kick on 1, snare on 3, and some filler stuff in between, but those main hits on 1 and 3 are going to be them power hits from the hi-hat. So all these in-between hits on 2 and 4, we can lower those down. I'm just going to highlight this section here of 4 measures, and I'm going to highlight 2 and 4 of each of the hi-hat hits. Now you can either just simply drag it down, or I can open the velocity adjustment and just put like -30 into there. Now that might seem like a lot of work to have to go through and edit every other hit on the hi-hat throughout the entire song, but the good thing about most drum parts is that the hi-hat patterns don't change too much within a specific section. So looking at this, I know that I can take this hi-hat part and I can copy and paste it onto this next section here because it doesn't change. The only thing that's different is we don't have a crash on the start here, and we do have a downbeat hi-hat hit right there. So I'm just going to take the second 2 measures, cut these out, and paste it in. And then we'll do the same thing here. The only change here is that we have that little open hi-hat on the end, so we don't want to get rid of that. And this should actually be a foot close. So did you hear the difference when I let it continue playing on? You can hear how much more robotic that sounds with that consistent hi-hat velocity. Let's hear that one more time right there. So now I'll go through the rest of the song and I'll copy and paste those hi-hat parts with the velocity adjustments to other sections that are the same. And then if I come across anything that's different, I'll just manually make those adjustments. So really quick, I want to show you the hi-hat part at the end of this song. You can see that they're all at the same velocity, so I haven't done any adjustments to them yet. What you'll notice is we have these gaps where the crashes happen. So what I've been doing on the rest of the hi-hat is just copy and pasting these long sections. And while I could do that over here, it's going to overlap and fill in all of those gaps. I'm just going to go back and I'm going to copy just a small section of this. And we're going to paste that in place. And this next one, we have 2 beats that start on beat 2 and another one on beat 3. So I'm going to copy beat 2 and beat 3 from here. Cut, paste in place. We got a full 4 beat measure of hi-hat hits. Cut those out, paste that in place. Another 2 beats. Copy, paste. And then we got 3 beats at the end. And now that entire hi-hat track is complete. Well, that's a wrap on part 2 of programming drums. Hopefully you found these couple of videos helpful. Just to recap a couple of takeaways from this, remember to work in small sections. And once you finish a section, copy and paste it over to the next part. There might be some changes to make here and there, and you can make those after you paste it over, but this is a lot faster than writing everything out note for note. And also, do the bulk of your velocity adjustments last, because you have to be a bit more meticulous with this part. It would be a shame to spend a bunch of time getting all the drum samples sounding super realistic on each individual section, only to hear the song as a whole and realize you have to go back and change something completely. At that, hopefully there was something in my approach that you can implement into your current workflow and see if it speeds up the process for you. But just like anything, repetition is key, and over time you're going to get better and faster at programming drum parts. Now, as you're working on improving your recording and mixing skills, if you want a guide that'll walk you through every step of the process from songwriting and recording up through mixing and mastering, you can download the Roadmap to a Radio-Ready Song. This guide covers 5 steps to help you take your song from sounding like a demo to sounding pro, and you can download it absolutely free as my gift to you by going to FromZeroToStudio.com/roadmap or by clicking the link below in the description, and you can start improving how you're creating and capturing your music. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. I'll see you on another video soon.